Good morning. Here we go. Welcome back. Great to have this event, which we've had for so many years. Like having the seniors joining us again. It's great to have the whole school here. Took a little while to remember your seats, I could see, but we've done it. As I said yesterday when I was speaking at the upper mid award ceremony, academic award ceremony, this is a time of year when there's just incredible achievement on campus that we celebrate. And again, whether it's this event right now or tonight at the Senior Project Museum and so on. So it's a really fun time in the school. And what we do today is really recognize those teams. So many of you played on teams. The varsity records were really good. We play in a very tough league, and as you know, to have a record of our 22 interscholastic teams of 167 and 87, which is a 66 percentile winning record, that's really good in any league, and at varsity level is even higher. We were 109 and 50. So by that measure, it's been a great season. I saw so many games, and just as you know, I just love doing it. I love seeing the competitiveness and the sportsmanship and the class, and I love the way you represent the school. You'll hear from each coach. Obviously, there's some teams that we still are working. The crew teams are going off to New England. So boys varsity tennis was a Founders League champ. The golf team is not here because they're at the KIT. So you can tell we are performing at a really high level. I will say on behalf of the coaches, so they don't need to repeat it, all of them, I speak for all of them in saying that there's a lot of work that gets done behind the scenes, and it's people in the athletic center, it's people in the grounds, it's Miss Krusko, it's Mr. Hinman and Miss O'Shea. There's a ton of work that gets done in order that we can make the seasons great. If we didn't have trainers taking care of students who are hurt or rehabbing, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So I just would like, so that we don't have to have, every coach doesn't feel obligated, I think we should recognize the people who behind the scenes do all the things they do to make this work. So, yeah. And by the way, when you get a chance to acknowledge them personally, you should do so. I really mean that. Find someone and pull them aside and tell them, you know what, I appreciate what you've done for us, and it means much to me. Mr. Hinman will begin. He will speak on behalf of Mr. Kennerson, who, as I say, is off with the golf team. And I would just say in introducing him that many of you know that he and Mrs. Hinman are moving on. She's going to be the head of an upper school at a great school outside of Boston, and he is going to become the athletic director at St. Sebastian's. And he is, as a Taft graduate and as a coach and an athletic director, has just been incredible, and he's led with distinction and with honor, and as someone who represents the school externally among all the other leagues, all the other teams. I can't tell you how indebted I am and how lucky we've been to have Mr. Hinman doing what he's done. Taft Athletics is great for a lot of reasons, but part of it is because it's been led really well. And so with that, I just would introduce Mr. Hinman. Okay.
Thank you. As Mr. McMullen said, the boys golf team's up at the KIT, which is the New England Championship. They completed another most impressive season, going 15-2 and finishing second in the Founders League tournament. This year's letter winners are Sebastian Cheng, Jack Dayton, Owen McGowan, Bob Meng, Julian Papadopoulou, Jack Percelli, J.P. Rafferty, Matt Chimenti, and Henry Wesson. The two Founders League All-Stars for the boys golf team were Jack Percelli and Henry Wesson. And the Gillespie Golf Award, established in 1987, a great year to graduate from Taft, given to that member of the varsity golf team who carries on the tradition of sportsmanship and love of the game characteristic of John Gillespie during his 34 years of association with Taft. The 2013 winner is Henry Wesson. And the 2014 golf captain will be Matt Chimenti. And finally, I just want to thank everyone. It's been a great run, and I'm going to miss you guys so much. I hope when you're up in Boston, you look us up, but my heart will always be with Taft, and I'll always be following your team, so thank you.
The girls' golf team came in second in both the Founders Day League tournament as well as in the New England tournament. Tomorrow we'll host our Sadie Hawkins tournament, which we do with the boys' golf team for domestic violence. We support children to go to summer camps. Yesterday we presented the John Valvano Taft Class of 44 Golf Award to the individual that exemplifies the spirit of Taft golf, and that award winner was Legree Augustine. Since the program started 7 years ago, the cumulative record is 103 wins, 7 losses, 4 ties, which is really amazing. This year, the team record was 13-1-1. Please stand, numeral winners, Maddie Haskins. Maddie, you there? Okay, varsity letters, please stand. Jackie Ely, Legree Augustine, Penn Navarage, Alice Kim, Morgan Mance, and Nicole Liu. Okay. Our Founder All-Star League winners are Jacqueline Ely and Legree Augustine. And the Girls Golf Award is presented to that player who, through her commitment to the game of golf, has displayed the highest level of integrity and sportsmanship. This year, the award goes to Jacqueline Ely. And the captains for the 2014 season will again be Jacqueline Neely and Legree Augustine.
All righty, I'll start with a quick thanks to my fellow coaches, Ms. Palmer, Ms. Valdez, Mr. Paget, Mr. Rueg, Mr. Jewell, Mr. McDonald, and Mr. Johnson. The class of 2013 ruled the track this spring, and it's thus with a great deal of pride and a hint of sadness that I speak about this year's teams. Both teams had very successful seasons, and the rain-out of the long-awaited tri-meet versus Hotchkiss and Suffield stands as perhaps the only significant disappointment of the spring. The girls' team successfully pushed through college visits and APs, rallied behind the outstanding leadership of senior captains Candace Dice, Elizabeth Shea, and Maggie O'Neill, and finished the season with a final record of 5-3. The boys' team successfully endured much of the same. They rallied behind the leadership of their captains Al Nejma, Shane Hardy, and Johnny McMullen, and finished their season at 7-3. The teams competed in several big meets as the season drew to a close last Saturday. At the Founders League Championship meet, both the boys and girls teams placed fourth. In total, 20 of the 30 Taft athletes who participated in the meet earned places in the top 6. Shane Hardy in the high jump, David Berment in the long jump and 200 meters, and Candace Dice in the long and triple jumps were league champions. At the New England Prep School Division I Championship meet at Choate this past Saturday, the girls finished 8th and the boys team placed 11th overall, and 8 of the 25 Taft athletes who participated in the meet earned places in the top 6. At the meet, Shane Hardy in the high jump and Candace Dice in the triple jump were New England champions. Okay, letter and numeral winners, please stand. First for the girls, varsity numerals go to Tiara Riggins, manager, Sarah Coleman, Julia Falco, Nama Nguyen, Amanda Sinclair, and Alicia Wong. Varsity letter winners go to Candace Dice, tri-captain, Crystal Abukalam, Sarah Iannone, Shayna Joseph, Carolyn Kearns, Tess Niesel, Caroline Manley, Leah McIntosh. Leah McIntosh. Please stand. Come on, Caroline, let's go. Lead the charge. Let's go. There's no reason to be resting your legs at this point. Rashi Narayan, Maggie O'Neill, Tri-Captain, Taylor Rado, Elizabeth Shea, Margaret Swamley, and Megan Teeking. For the boys, varsity numerals go to Lauren Agau, manager, Percy Algarati, Robert Detman, Andrew Goss, Jacob Goldstein, Peter Hamline, Peter Lynn, Stephen Mesh, Yanni Sitsis, Jared Thompson. Guys going to stand? Leon Vortmeyer, Ryan White, Kelvin Zhu, and Teddy Zollner. Varsity letter learners for the boys, please stand. David Berment, Cardi Campbell, Petey Colon, Fernando Fernandez, Tommy Grant, Shane Hardy, Tri-Captain, Alex Heward, Balolo Jonga, John McMullen, Tri-Captain, Easton Miller, Troy Mupen, Al Nejma, Tri-Captain, Adam Parker, Nadir Pearson, Charlie Valley, Matt Wee, Chizzy Wigwe, and David Wolf. Postseason honors went to several, in recognition, went to several of our track athletes. Candace Dice, Maggie O'Neill, David Berment, and Shane Hardy were all selected as Founders League All-Stars. And there is a track award. The Seymour Willis Beardsley Track Award is awarded each year to those members of the track teams who most thoroughly typify the finest spirit and accomplishment of the ideals of the school laid down by Horace Dutton Taft. The 2013 winners are, for the boys, Al Nejma, and for the girls, Sarah Iannone and Elizabeth Shea. The track teams in 2014 for the girls will be led by Captain-elect Shayna Joseph, and the boys will be led by co-captain-elects Johnny McMullen and Troy Moonpen.
First, I want to thank coaches Piacenza and Ganung for all they did this great season. It's been a pleasure to coach with both of you. I also want to thank coaches Richardson and Dawson for successful winning JV baseball season. In the long history of Taft baseball, I'm honored and proud to be associated with, and have coached this year's varsity baseball team. We've had a great time and learned much together. And now, having reached 300 tweets at Taft v Baseball, we have 82 followers. I'm thrilled, having learned under the tutelage of my players and my managers. My managers put up with me more than the others on a daily basis with Twitter. I consider myself a varsity tweeter. With a record of 11-7 going into today's final game against Loomis, our season highlights included series sweeps versus league opponents Kent, Trinity Pauling, and Westminster, and big non-league wins against Deerfield, Berkshire, and Hopkins. And this past Saturday, on the back of Ryan Kuhn, who pitched a 9-inning complete game, we beat arch rival Hotchkiss 6-2. So will the following please stand and stay standing? Varsity baseball numeral winners, Corinne Court and Jane Zorowitz, our managers. Varsity baseball letter winners: Will Albright, Kyle Considine, Ryan Kuhn, Timmy Drakely, Hunter Franz, Ryan Gagne, Doug Goldstone, Robbie Harbison, Quentin Harris, Captain Rob Kiska, Nick Laspada, Justin Lebeck, Alex McClellan, Jake Minicucci, Joe Paduano, Jackson Parisi, Patch Robinson, and Hadley Stone. We participate in 2 leagues, and our Colonial League All-Star nominees are Patch Robinson with thus far 6 wins on the season, Rob Kiska, and Robbie Harbison. Our Founders League All-Stars are Kyle Considine and Nicholas Spada. And the Stone Baseball Award, given annually to that member of the varsity baseball team who, through his leadership, consistent high level of performance, perseverance, and good sportsmanship, has made an outstanding contribution to the Taft baseball team. The 2013 winner is Rob Kiska. And voted by a huge majority to be team captain for the 2014 varsity baseball team, Hadley Stone.
I'd like to first thank my assistant coach, Dave Hinman. It's always a pleasure having the wise words of Dave courtside. I'm really going to miss you, Dave. Good luck. What do you get when your 8-man team is from England, Hungary, Bermuda, Jamaica, Switzerland, and a few guys from the United States? You get a lot of fun. And we had a blast this season. You also get a lot of wins. We went 14-3 as of now. We play Hopkins this afternoon, so. We opened up in the first 2 weeks with wins over Andover, Deerfield, and Choate, and the momentum just kept cruising all the way through our season. Over half our matches were won by a score of either 7-0 or 6-1, and we ended up being Founders League champs. Varsity numeral winners, please stand and remain standing. Sarah Cassidy, manager. Annalise Van Breen, manager. Varsity letter winners, please stand and remain standing. Cortland Boyle, Griffin Connor, Eric Della Pena, George Johnston, Raymond Canyo, Tucker Killian, Michael Mulroy, and Jagger Riefler, captain. As league champs, we get three Founders League All-Stars. Guy who's played for 4 years at Taft and probably struggled with more medical issues than any player in the history of Taft tennis during our season, Eric Della Pena. The Budapest bomber who came in and manned our number 2 spot, Raymond Canyo, whose record right now at number 2 is 13-2. And finally, our rookie lower mid, Cortland Boyle, whose record right now is 14-2 at number 3. Pretty remarkable for a lower mid. After 4 years of playing varsity tennis and close to 100 matches played and 2 years at captain and number 1, the winner of the George Gould Tennis Award, awarded to that Taft tennis player who best embodies the sportsmanship and will to win of George Gould, is Jagger Riefler. I should also mention that every year the coaches of the Southern New England Tennis League get together and vote on one player from the whole league who has competed with intensity and yet with the highest level of sportsmanship. And Jagger was selected by the league this year to win that award. Next year's captain is Ramy Cagno.
So, the girls varsity tennis team, after losing 7 players from last year's team and starting off this season 0-3, like sands through the hourglass, our goals were slipping away and our expectations were foundering. Frankly, at that point, we were just happy to see Westover on the schedule. And sorry to our neighbors over there in Middlebury. But then something magic happened. The girls never gave up. They believed in themselves, and they were determined to improve. We went on a 7-game win streak, and we beat the likes of Westminster and Kent and Choate along the way. And included in there was a thrilling 5-4 upset of Greenwich Academy, which somehow, some way, cemented our place in the New England A Championships at the end of the year as one of the top 8 teams in New England, which was an incredible feat for these girls. I'll never forget it. It was a great season, and they deserve a lot of credit for pulling us from the brink all the way to the top 8. This is the portion of the ceremony where I generally make some inappropriate and witty quips about the girls. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll have to forego that portion, and I will go immediately to listing off the letter and numeral winners. Varsity numeral winner this year is our manager, Olivia Lynch, who I will miss terribly. She was my squash and tennis manager, and she's done a great job at both. Varsity letter winners, please stand. We had Charlotte Masucci, Annie Schwartz, Georgia Birmingham, who I do have to mention. Come on now, girls, get up. Georgia Birmingham, who honestly didn't even think would make the team this year, didn't know if she would ever play in a match for us. Not only did she was undefeated singles and doubles. It was incredible. The other half of that doubles team was Maggie O'Neill, and our starting lineup this year was Isabel Stack at number 6, Allison Sheehan at number 5, Jackie Suskind captain at number 4, Shelby Meckstroth at number 3, who, it should be noted, played the last 2 weeks of the season with a broken arm, finished number 2 at the Kent tournament, and won every other match. Absolutely incredible. Number 2 was Bella Ordway, and number 1 was 4-year tennis player and captain Courtney Jones. We had 2 Founders League All-Stars, and they are predictably Shelby Meckstroth and Bella Ordway. The Ulrich Mann Award goes to the outstanding varsity tennis player at Taft for 2013. I can hardly even remember a team that didn't have this girl on it. Unfortunately, I'm going to find out what it's like to coach a team without this girl on it next year. 4-year tennis player, 3 years at number 1 for us, Courtney Jones. The team will be ably led in 2014 by Bella Ordway and Isabel Stack.
I've been proud to coach the girls lacrosse team this season because it's a group of athletes who've worked really hard to learn about the game of lacrosse and, more importantly, who have worked hard to learn about how to be a team. Ultimately, our record so far this season has been 6-8, and as we head into our last competition this afternoon, we have an opportunity to put all the pieces together in a game against Hopkins. Ours is a really young team this year. This has meant a few things. First, it's meant that our season's been up and down. We have tons of potential, and at times we have really played quite well, and at other times we've really struggled against some of the toughest opponents in our league to be successful. It's also meant, though, that we have needed and relied on our two seniors, Mary Dubois and Lindy Smith, and both young women have led with both strength and grace. Third, it's meant that as we look into next year, both with our young team and with a young and talented program, that there's lots of room to grow, and we have high hopes. Before I recognize varsity numeral and letter award winners, I'd like to just recognize all the girls who played in the lacrosse program this year at all levels. Your willingness to work hard and to represent your school and to play on a team is not only a great opportunity, but also a service to the school, so thank you. Thanks. And I'd like to thank the coaches who led those teams, so Miss O'Brien, Miss Ryan, and Miss Leal. Special thank you also to Shannon Tarrant, my co-coach, who, as you all know, I'm sure, brings sparkle and positivity to everything that she touches, and I couldn't do it without her. Thanks, Shannon. So our varsity numeral winner, our manager, Taewon Shim, thank you. And varsity letter winners, please stand and remain standing. Rachel Alberti, Lauren Drakely, Mary Dubois, captain, Eliza Dunham, Becky Dutton, Collins Grant, Catherine Kaler, Natalie Kapp, Nicole Lowell, Gwen McGee, Rachel Muskin, Rosie Oppenheim, Caroline Queely, Catherine Rosnick, Lindy Smith, Coco Takis, Eleanor Walker. This year, our New England Prep School All-Stars are Rachel Alberti and Caroline Queely. Our Founder League All-Stars are Caroline Queely and Collins Grant. And the Wandelt Lacrosse Award. The Wandelt Lacrosse Award is awarded to that member of the girls' varsity squad for sportsmanship, play, and outstanding contribution to lacrosse, and the 2013 winner is Mary Dubois. We have voted on captains, but I'm going to wait on that announcement until the completion of this season, so more to come.
So my team knows I tend to be a crier when I'm proud of my girls, and I'm going to try really hard not to cry today, but bear with me. So being a part of this team this year has been outstanding. My first year as head coach, we had 31 incredibly strong rowers committed to the program. This was by far our most competitive tryout season. I had to cut a record number of girls from the program. As a result, our lowest boats are the most competitive boats we've had in years. We've never had a 6-boat compete at the level we have this season, and they're going to make their final waves today at Lake Lorimod with the 5th boat for the low boat regatta. I knew coming back from our trip to Tennessee we were going to have a strong set of girls this season. In our first 2K after our trip, we had 6 girls pull sub 8 minutes. After our final 2K this week, we now have 10 girls pulling 8 minutes or faster, which is a school record last set in 2009 with only 8 girls under 8 minutes. For those of you who don't know, Carl Sangre's sister set the school record 2 years ago with a 7:27.9 2K time. Yesterday, Zoe Klimley, only a sophomore, pulled only 6 seconds off the school record with a 7:33. She will certainly be one to watch in the next few years. Speaking on behalf of the entire crew program, it is very exciting to see all 8 varsity boats qualify for New England's this year for our 6th year in a row. Out of the 32 programs who try to qualify for NERAs, there were only 9 other schools who were able to do this. It was a tough haul for the girls with lots of little obstacles along the way, but the ultimate work of our varsity boats earned them rankings in the top teams in New England. We couldn't have done it without the amazing work of our captains Rebecca Bentheim and Aaron Wilson, and the new addition of my outstanding assistant coach, also known as the hottest single in Connecticut, Miss Aguirre. We also have a phenomenal support of our seniors Ellie Park, Leslie Freedy, and the comedic relief of Liz Demon when she wasn't stealing stuff from me. We've had celebration, laughter, and tears, not today though, throughout the year, and I will certainly miss this fantastic group of seniors. We're only graduating 5 next year, so watch out as our freshmen, sophomore, and junior rise to be amazing competitors next year. Will the varsity numeral winners please stand? Kim Amelsberg, Olivia Barnett, Emma Bellick, Ai Bowie, Victoria Gordon, Allie Hildreth, Chista Irani, Olivia Page, Amanda Roberts, Megan Smith, and Karina Wohlheater. Varsity letters go to, also please stand, Rebecca Bentheim, co-captain, Andrea Benvenuto, Hallie Burke, Tess Conciatori, Charlotte Cunningham, Josie Danziger, Elizabeth Demon, Becky Frank, Leslie Freedy, Tally Hodges, Zoe Klimley, Caroline Leopold, Tiffany Lee, Ava Menon, R.C. O'Shea, Ellie Park, Amelia Wilhelm, Athena Wilkinson, Aaron Wilson, co-captain, and Gunesh Yalkin. Our 2 Founder Leagues All-Stars are given to the 2 girls that achieved the highest or the lowest 2K times this year. Erin Wilson with a 7:43 and Zoe Klimley with a 7:33.5. The Crew Award, established in 1993, is given to the member of the crew whose outstanding contribution, sterling character, and dedicated perseverance embodied the best ideals of rowing. The 2013 winner is Rebecca Bentheim. And next year's captains will be Amelia Wilhelm and Zoe Klimley.
I'd like to begin by thanking my assistant coach, Emma McBurney, for the skill, intelligence, and good humor that she's brought to the season. Thanks also to my 2 team captains, Hayden Pascal and Ben Tweedy, wish they could both be here today, who have been role models for everyone on the team. Thanks most of all to the rowers and the coxswains who work so hard in all kinds of weather as we strive for excellence. The 4 varsity boats on the boys' crew team have compiled an overall record of 33 wins, 8 losses. In late April, our first varsity boat beat Choate for the first time ever. At the Founders Day Regatta, first boat finished 5th overall and second boat took home bronze medals. First boat won the DuPont Cup for the 2nd year in a row, and 4 days later, Taft boats swept 5 races and won the Smith Cup for the first time ever. All 4 varsity boats have qualified for New England's on Saturday, with first boat seated 4th out of 25 teams, second boat seated 6th, third boat seated 6th, and fourth boat seated 7th. Those of you who are still able to stand at the end of this season, please do so when I read your names. Henry Froland, numeral winners, Henry Froland, Shelby Hetherington, Phil Holt, Joseph Lissack, Kevin Perez, Gabe Menison, Josh Mulder, and Michael Mulder. Varsity letters go to Sam Barrett, Sam Barnhill, Robert Brown, Chris Capice, Liam Carty, stand up guys, Elias Clough, Allie Elkman, Richard Gilland, Alexa Lambert, Matt Liebers, Emma Lux, Isaac Morier, Hayden Pascal, you can stay lying down, Hayden, Carl Sangri, Mark Schiller, Jack Torney, Ben Tweedy, and Nate Wauer. Our Founders League All-Stars are two athletes who have rowed in first boat both last year and this. They are Hayden Pascal and Liam Carty. The Crew Award was established in 1993 and given to that member of the crew and is given to that member of the crew whose outstanding contribution, sterling character, and dedicated perseverance embody the best ideals of rowing. This year, we are proud to honor Ben Tweedy. And finally, voted by teammates as next year's tri-captains are Liam Carty, Carl Sangri, and Chris Capice.
I'd just like to start by thanking our coaching staff, Tom Antonucci and Aaron Duffy. I'd also like to thank Winnie Adrian and Chris Chung, who've run a successful JV program the past 3 years. We're going to miss you guys. Going into this season, we knew we had a tough road ahead of us. Expectations were high as the team sought to defend their league title, but we were also aware that this was a season to rebuild and that anything was possible. We ended league play last week with a final game against Choate, which ended in extra innings. Although we lost this game, in many ways it was the best of our season. The team played solid defense and made no errors in the field, while at the same time they had a consistent showing at the plate. I know I'm speaking for our entire coaching staff when I say I'm proud of each member of this team and their accomplishments. I want to give a special shout out to our seniors, Katie, Cassie, Elena, Amy, and Lizzie, who had a winning record all 4 years while at Taft. Our varsity numeral winners, Jenny Walker and Sally Ann Rochefort. Varsity letter winners, can you guys please stand? Claire Descamps, Amy Feda, Shelby James, Maddie Light, Elena LaRusso, Katie McLaughlin, So Young Park, Lizzie Pelletier, Audrey Quirk, Chelsea Robinson, Cassie Rouge, and Cecilia Sousa. Our Founders League All-Stars are Audrey Quirk and Lizzie Pelletier. And the Softball Award, established in 1993, awarded to the player on the varsity team who the coaches feel has demonstrated the most enthusiasm and dedication to the team. I am happy to give this award to both of our captains, Cassie Rouge and Katie McLaughlin. And our lone captain for next year will be Audrey Quirk.
Right. Okay, so let me start with the most important statistics for the Taft lacrosse program. Coming into today, we have over 1,300 tweets and 570 followers. Hashtag in your face. Hashtag for the boys, hashtag do it for Dugan, hashtag win the speech. Seriously though, the Taft lacrosse program has a record of 12-5 with 1 game to go today against TP. We're 12-4 New England, 5-1 overall in the Founders League. We've got 3 one-goal losses, 2 in overtime, 3 one-goal wins, And we will have played 5 teams this year that have spent some time in the national top 25 polls. So needless to say, it has been a very challenging season, but a very successful one. But most importantly, on Saturday, we beat Hotchkiss 6-4. Wanted to say thank you so much to our assistant coaches, Rob Madden and John Bender. They spent countless amount of time with our guys, despite having those pint-sized obligations at home. And a big thank you to Cara Zarchin and Debbie Bender for letting their husbands spend so much time, despite those pint-sized obligations at home. Also a big thanks to the rink staff, Pat O'Toole, our JV coaches, John McGee, Luis Mendoza, and our thirds coaches, Tom Caesars and Mike Hoffman. Let me recognize the numeral winners. Please stand and remain standing. Our managers, who are unbelievable, Sarah Rutherford and Jesse Calder. And our videographer, who has been absent this spring, but he put together a 90-minute film, so we'll recognize him, Oliver Salk. Thank you. We've got 2 founders, let me read our letter winners. Please stand and remain standing. Zach Ambrosino, O'Shea Bell, Tyler Breen, Will Brown, Joe Carter, Zach Cohen, Jack Collins, Lucas DiPietrantonio, Bobby Dutton, Ryan Golden, Kevin Klemner, Jeff Crackey, Jenkins Marshall, Mike Matson, Will McElroy, Kramer Peterson, Henry Pieriandri, Will Pope, Will Reed, Brandon Salvatore, Tim Shield, Jack Simons, Oliver Sipple, Will Sipperly, Eric Smith, Chaz Sow, Sam Sweet, James Taucus, Cole Thompson, Andrew Trevenin, and Angus Vibrands. We've got 2 Founders League All-Stars, James Taucus at attack and Zach Ambrosino at defense. We had 4 players win all Western New England awards. Honorable mention, Oliver Sipple, captain. And on the all Western New England team, 3-time winner Jeff Crackey, 2-time winner Chaz South, and first-time winner Jack Collins. The All-American Awards will be voted on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night up at Westminster at the coaches get-together. And we've got a couple guys that have some nominations, so hopefully we'll have some All-Americans this year. And we had 4 guys be voted on to the Senior East-West All-Star Game. Our 4 captains, Jeff Crackey, Chaz South, James Taucus, and Oliver Sipple. And the Auden Lacrosse Award, let me get the description out here. Presented by the Taft varsity lacrosse team of 1966 in honor of Mr. Lance Auden, awarded to that member of the varsity squad for sportsmanship, play, and outstanding contributions to lacrosse. We had a number of guys get nominations for this award, but I think it's only appropriate that could go to a guy who's a 4-year varsity letter winner, a timeless player, a guy who you could put on the team in any year that the program's ever existed, and he would make an impact, and a guy who we'll certainly miss next year, Jeff Crackey. And we will announce our captains after the game today, after we beat TP. So check your Twitter feed. I'll be sure to tweet it out.
So many thanks to the coaches for their hours and dedication and passion, and for all of you who competed at whatever level. I'm always grateful for the way in which you represent the school, and you bring out and reveal the very best of Taft, and the integrity and the class and the sportsmanship. All of you have a lot to be proud of. Thank you for coming today. Thank you all for a great day, and good luck in these last matches. We're adjourned.